texts are flying in about Man United. Anonymous one, hey guys, great show. Manchester United should throw in more of the kids to change it up a bit. They surely can't do worse than the so-called big players. We must arrest this free fall. Thank God Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton have been awful. And Dan, the Manchester United fan, morning Jeff and Gabby, no one knows what's going on. The first team are all overpaid tumbleweed. Play the under-21s. Southgate loading. Interesting thought. Don't think it's going to happen though, Dan. Let's get more on what's going on in Manchester with United and City, shall we, with talkSPORT's Manchester correspondent. It's a very good morning to Micky Gray. Morning, Micky.
Morning, Micky.
Jeff, Gabby, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Micky. Look, I mean, never mind what was going on the pitch. Yesterday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, first half, Ruben Amorim cut an angry figure, and in the second half, he just looked like he'd lost it completely. He sat with his head down. How much is he feeling the strain, do you think?
I think he's feeling the pressure, Jeff. There's no doubt about it. You have to, I think, when you look at or you consider Manchester United's performances since he's walked through the door. I think everybody was expecting a little bit of a lull because of the change in system, and it was going to take a little bit of time for the players to kind of gel and work that out. But it hasn't obviously worked that way. And I think the frustration's starting to boil over now with the manager, because you can see in his body language, he's frustrated as much as the players. And I'm sure that the supporters are not enjoying what they're watching every single week.
Micky, are you confused by the formation? Because I've never liked the 5 at the back. It's a 5, let's not say it's a 3. Yesterday at all times, it was 5 at the back. What I don't get is, when you do play a 5, the wing-back has got to get forward. But say you're on the right-hand side, the right side of the free centre-half has also got to get forward. We're having a joke earlier about when Sheffield United played it. You had Basham flying forward past the wing-back into attacking areas.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, Gabby. I said it a couple of weeks ago, and look, I think I'm on the same page as everybody. I think there's a lot of people out there that like Ruben Amorim. And I think, well, maybe not yourself, Gabby, but I think a lot of people want Manchester United to kind of succeed under him because he's kind of bright and he's bubbly. He's brought something a little bit different to Manchester United. But I'm on the page of saying that I don't ever think that this system's going to work at Manchester United. I think there's certain clubs in the Premier League have kind of got a DNA of what system and what style of football that they play. And I don't think playing 3 centre-halves at Man United's ever going to work. And I think you're right about the wing-backs. I don't think that's working at the moment. But then you look at that squad of players. Look, there's some quality players there who've done things in the past. I mean, Casemiro played yesterday. His record of trophies is incredible. But you can just see that he's not good enough to play in the Premier League anymore. Time's caught up with him.
The other thing for me, Micky, is I look at the fact that yesterday, no Ahmad, no Mainu, no Ogati, no Collier either, as happens, all injured in training. What are they doing in training?
Well, it's when he gets the opportunity to train the players, Jeff. I think he's gone on about that quite a lot since he's came into the door at Manchester United. So I think he's working them really hard. I've seen a couple of interviews from the players, and I think the word that they've been using is that he's killing us in training, is what they've been saying. So he's having to use that time in between games to work the players as hard as he possibly can. He said when he first walked through the door that he needed to start now with a system that he wanted to use for next season, hoping that there was going to be wins coming along the way. And I think the big thing, or the relief for Man United, is that there's 2 or 3 sides in the Premier League now that are poorer than Manchester United, and they've probably got enough points on the board to keep them in the Premier League. And it's damning when you think that we're talking about a club of the size of Manchester United and we're talking about relegation. It's just clearly not working on the football field right now. And he's so stubborn, like all the other managers in the Premier League. He's not going to change, and he wants to stick with this system. And if he sticks with this system, I don't know where the next win's going to come from.
I think as well, when you look at goals scored, only Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich and Everton have scored less than Manchester United. That's a problem, and you can tell by the first half, that Garnacho chance, Micky, he's got to hit the target at least, hasn't he?
Well, without a doubt, Gabby. I mean, he's fired it over the top of the crossbar. It's not just in that game. He's one of the individual players, and I know he's young. It's very difficult to criticise young players, but he's one of the players that's not performed. He gets himself into so many great positions, and his end product is just not good enough. I mean, Xerxes, another one. There's another one. I mean, Hoyland.
Yep.
They've been brought in for big money. The price tag's not their problem and it's not their fault. But they've been brought into a club like Manchester United to improve Man United. Well, they haven't improved them because I would probably say that the performances under Erik ten Hag over a period of time were better than what we're seeing now.
If only they'd gone out and bought Omar Marmoush then, instead, Mickey. Because how good is he looking?
He looked fantastic, Jeff. I mean, I was at the game and you saw signs of it in the first couple of games that he was involved in. And now I think he's starting to get to know his teammates. They gelled really well at the weekend, and he was absolutely outstanding. His first goal, superb. I think there's a lot of players make those runs and they get themselves in behind back lines. But when he got there, it was how cool he was just to lob the ball over to Dubravka and finish that ball. But from that moment, it always looked like he was going to just kick on. His second goal was a little bit different, and then the third one went in, and he just topped off his performance, along with, I have to say, about 5 or 6 other Man City players, and they looked like they were getting back to what we expect from Man City. I know it's still not there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I thought they played really well at the weekend against Newcastle.
Worrying for Liverpool, who'll go there very soon, of course. Mickey, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Mickey.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good day.
So, Gabby, how much is Manchester United, how much are their struggles down to mentality?
Okay, so here's some stats for you, Jeff. Before the Liverpool game, 3-0 lost to Bournemouth, 2-0 lost to Wolves, and 2-0 lost to Newcastle. And then they draw against Liverpool, and Martinez does the interview, and he's like, the guy interviewing says, what's changed? He says, mentality. Okay, after the Liverpool draw, they win 3-1 against Southampton, but Southampton done well in that game. Then they lose to 3-1 to Brighton at home. They beat Fulham 1-0 away. Then they lose to Palace 2-0, and then they lose to Spurs 1-0. 15th in the league, 28 goals scored. Only Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich and Everton have scored less than them. Where's the mentality changed? Because you got a draw against Liverpool. So I feel a lot of these players are like bluffers for me when I watch them. I don't really think that the mentality has changed. You're seeing players not want the ball. You see players throwing their arms up still when you watch them. So it's okay when you get, you got a draw against Liverpool, or you beat Manchester City. Okay, but when it matters against teams that you should be beating, where's the mentality there? So I think there's a lot of bluffers in that Manchester United squad.
Let's hear from a Manchester United fan. Tony is that United fan. Morning, Tony.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
So what are you making of what's happening at your club at the moment?
Well, I've been listening a lot to talkSPORT recently, and people are not addressing the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room being Ineos and the Glazers. They are the problem why Man United are not performing on the pitch at the moment. Yeah, granted, Amorim has come in, and he is the right man for the job. Amorim's come in, he has inherited a team that are no good. And I think even if they did go back to playing an old style, which they won't and they shouldn't, that team ain't good enough. The elephant in the room are Ineos and the Glazers. I mean, we had to sit there last night and watch a Tottenham team and a Man United team sitting in Ineos seats at a Tottenham stadium. Get the Glazers out, get Ineos out, and get some money into that club, because it's the debt that's crippling and it's the debt that are stopping Man United buying players.
Tony, thank you very much indeed.
They can't buy their way out of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they've spent money. Yeah. Let's not act like Manchester United haven't spent money in recent years.
No, they have.
Now, because of the rules, you can't, like you previously have done, go and spend your way out of trouble. You've got to do it like the rest of the teams.
So many issues on and off the pitch.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.